Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Thursday, December 8th, year 2022. It's 12:36 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. Sorry, no webcam, having problems getting that working. So, regardless, let's rock through. As always, bitcoindailyview.com got more for you there. And as always, check out blockchain education. Great thing to be a part of. We're in there looking at good trades today, and we're always in communication, active chat room. We have a lot of fun. Love to see you there. Join the winning team and come in for the big win. Anyway, enough of that stuff. Looking at FinViz today, we're seeing an interesting opening to the market. It's been up and down. Right now, the markets are slightly positive. Talking about the indexes here. So the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. So Dow's in the green, NASDAQ is in the green, S&P's in the green. It looks like a day where they will kind of just barely probably close green. We'll see how it goes. Usually at the end of the day, you get a slight pump or dump across the indexes. But the nice thing is S&P 500 is in the green today, slightly up. I like that. It's only 0.5%, but looking at the S&P 500, which Bitcoin's very, very tied to, I'd say about 90% matches the moves. We're seeing in general a green market, not heavy green, but okay. Yesterday was pretty good. Well, actually, yesterday wasn't very good, but it was good enough. Today's a little better, so it is just good to see. All right, looking at, because that usually spells positive things for crypto as well. Anyway, looking at the big exchanges, let's just look at the top 20 here. Top 20, top 50. They're just starting to turn positive, turn green on volume. I like seeing that. Hex Play, whatever that is really cranking today. KuCoin, I've heard of that one. They're doing okay. See, all the way down to 50. Who's doing CoinEx? Not quite in the green yet. It's got a couple green players. Smaller exchanges. Actually, KuCoin, a nice exchange, up almost 9%. So anyway, volume is increasing. I like seeing that. We might see a day where we get all green across the board, at least for the top 20 or 50 exchanges. Binance US in the green, 12% up. I like seeing that. Binance, the big one, is up it's actually down 6%. But nice to see Binance US actually kicking it up, because it means that us US users are actually in the game. That's the exchange we can play on legally. All right, Bitfinex up 14.6%. Derivatives, looking at Binance for that, 50 billion to have a good day. We're at 26 billion, so derivative volume pretty darn slow. But the market is slowly picking up, and I think it has to do a lot with the big indexes beginning to have a mediocre day yesterday, but kind of an okay day today. We're seeing some good stuff happening. So it's late in the week, of course. Friday volume will probably trail off, but there might be a chance today and this evening and maybe even Friday to make some money. Let me get this fixed here. Okay, that's back. I wish we had this action more like on a Monday than today, but that's fine. I'll take it. There's money to be made. I got my trades in. Bitcoin coming in at 17,228. We pumped this morning, got back above 17,000. I like seeing that. Looking at the top 100 in general, got a lot of green. Any really big players? TWT. Trust Wallet is doing pretty good, up just basically about 8%. Radix, XRD is up 8%. It's nice. Seeing a nice top 100 in general in the green. So I like what I'm seeing here. Other than Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin, BS Vision here of 7.5%, meaning that at least evil still has some foothold in the world. So we haven't totally found paradise yet. Anyway, so blockchain whispers. This is kind of close, if you ask me. Longs for Bitcoin on Binance are 52% long, 47% short, and then for Ethereum, 50% long, 49% short. 50.55 long, 49.45 short for Ethereum on Binance. That sounds like a lot of elections this midterm. It took weeks or months to actually, it still ain't done counting. Anyway, that's really close to me, too close. I would call that a bit of uncertainty. So for long and short positions, okay, looking at Bitcoin versus USDT here on the 45-minute chart, This morning, we had a massive break above the 200 moving average, and the 314 looks good. Indicators are supporting that. I like what we're seeing. The moving average right here, this red one, that's the 8 moving average, and here in the 45-minute chart, you're never going to stay too far from it. So I'd imagine a retrace for Bitcoin. Maybe we shall see. This is a strong move. We'll see how much of this we actually keep. One thing that I do like seeing is this. If we look, we kind of have a a top here. You could almost say a range, really, if I wanted to. Let's see, let me clone that, move it down here. You kind of start to see a bit of a range that we're playing in. I like that. So maybe we're just working this range. It certainly has been suggested. Any more data to support that? Okay, looking right now, I like what I'm seeing. If we were to use a little bit more of this screen, as you can see, this is pretty valid. So are we going to retrace now or not? Let's see what happens. If we actually broke above this glass ceiling, that could be quite the amazing and powerful continuation. I'll settle for really anything as long as if we do retrace, we stay above this 200 moving average in a 45-minute chart. That's kind of it's a very, very short-term price action, I know, but it's a powerful thing. I definitely do use it a lot. 45-minute chart is a magic time frame. So is the 4-hour. Looking at the 4-hour chart, once again, you can see this beautiful top and bottom pattern that's playing out. I like what I'm seeing there. What else we got here? So that looks good. Bitcoin, let's just see what happens. We're kind of in retrace territory, but if we do break above this I call it like the glass ceiling, if we break above that, that's going to be very powerful. And also do note that on the 4-hour chart, we have broken above right here, the white moving average. That's 200. If we can, even if we do retrace, if we stay above that and find support, wonderful, wonderful day. How are the indicators looking here on the 4-hour chart? Squeeze indicators beginning to show some positivity. Directional indexes in the green. Binary candles are in the blue. I like that. They're turning positive. You can see a little definite spike in volume here. So in general, there's a good chance we might keep a hold of this. So if we do, well, amen. I'll take it. Let's look at something else. Let's look at the daily chart here. Let me get rid of some of my crazy indicators. Go away. I like this thing, but it's confusing when you're looking at it. Okay, so looking at a daily chart, one thing I do notice is that we are holding. We did cross back on the 24th of November. We crossed positive on the daily MACD, and we've been able to hold that. That's nice, and we're moving up. The histogram's going in the right direction at the moment. I like what I'm seeing there. You can see this little sideways pattern here, a little range that we've been working on the daily. We are holding right now above the 20 WMA. I like that. That's kind of a nice spot to be above, so that's good. Maybe we'll challenge the 50 moving average at 18,000, basically. Be nice to get above that too. So anyway, this is a sparky day. I like it. Let's see what happens. It would be nice if today's daily candle did close above the bodies of these previous candles. That would be good. So let's see how it rolls. This is positive stuff. I'm going to pull a bunch of data in here. Let's just see where we are via the, we can go daily. Let's make sure everything, let me actually go 3 days. Sorry, everybody. Pull some data in here. All right, a 3-day chart. Let me make this big so we can see it. All right, the 3-day chart. Gone to a fib way back here in March of 2020, where I start that. That's when we visited the 3Ks. If we do note, I'd love to get back above this 786 fib level. This is a big fib. It's really been working quite well. It does match reality pretty well. And the 20 WMA is right there on the 786. Let's see if we can break above that. I really want to see us break above 17,817, basically break above 18,000. Here on the daily chart, it's a 3-day chart, but 3-day chart has a 50 moving average at 20,000. So that'd be nice to get above that. Let's look at the daily chart. Daily chart has 50 moving average right about the same. So anyway, guys, let's see if we can get back above this 786 fib level. If we can break above that, that's going to be great. Get back above that 50 moving average, which is just about the same, 18,000. Let's see. So 18,000 is definitely a magic spot to watch. Let's see if we can get there and hold for the weekend. And that would make for an explosive next week, I think, personally. So let's look at some alts. This is my little Cayenne list, and I do share this list. If anybody cares, share a list, copy. I'll put this in the live chat right now. If you so desire, do feel free to watch that list. I update it quite often. It's usually pretty much what I'm playing with. It's trades that I'm looking at. I try to keep that up to date, but sometimes things are moving kind of quickly. But anyway, TWT versus USDT. I'm loving this one. It made a huge burst this morning. It retraced a bit. It's kind of gotten back to the 8 moving average here. It's a 45-minute chart. Indicators are looking good. It's cooling off a little bit, but I think it very well might hold on to some of these gains and continue moving up. Indicators are strong. Big burst of volume this morning. I like that. Sometimes you can really get the feel for the volume on the 4-hour chart. Yeah, you can definitely see on the 4-hour chart, this thing has gotten some sparky volume that pushed it up. As we can see in the past here, it's happened before over here. So I think these beautiful purple candles are, that's an indicator called Candles by Sam. You can find it, just search for Candles by Sam, or it's over at Bitcoin Daily if you just search for Sam. Anyway, got a big Darth Maul doji going right now on this one. But I do think that looking at the 4-hour chart, we're beginning to show the squeeze indicator on the positive side. Directional X is on the positive. ADX is looking right. Binary candles are good. Volume is good. I don't see why this guy here would not just continue. Not financial advice, of course, entertainment purposes only, but I think we got a nice strong play here. This is versus USDT. Also, TWT versus BTC is kind of interesting. Let's look for KuCoin on that one. It's not quite as explosive because BTC is on its way up, but I think it's definitely squeeze indicator. We'll see which way this goes. A little bit indecisive on that, but it's more positive than negative. Directional index is good. ADX is good. Binary candles are good. Nice little burst of volume here that we can see recently on the 4-hour chart. So really against BTC to TWT versus BTC is kind of a nice play. Let's see how far it retraces. It might retrace all the way to the moving 8 here around 114,600 sats or so. It might retrace there before it continues up, but it's looking pretty darn good. I like what I'm seeing there. 4-hour chart, Kava versus USDT, out of the running. That's not happening. Play versus USDT, nope, not happening. ENQ, no. How about BNB versus BTC? BNB versus BTC is kind of interesting. It got rejected off the 200 moving average in the 4-hour chart. You can see a rejection off the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart, and indicators are maybe not too strong. So BNB versus BTC, it's not too hot. Doge versus BTC, holding above the 200 moving average, but chart's not really impressive. Etsy versus BTC, that one's dead. Okay, so nothing too sexy here on the Cayenne list, really, except for TWT versus USDT. Let's look over at the secret purple list. I'm just going to give you a little bit of insight into this. It changes quite a lot. This is our list over at Blockchain Education. That's where this comes from. It gets updated a few times list, and it's our hot stuff that we are watching. I'm not going to show it all that often, just because it's kind of, part of the club and it's, proprietary and all that kind of stuff. But I will share it once in a while so that you guys can get a feel for what we're doing. We have a big list that we work off like this. And these are all the hot ones. And so basically I search this by, I sort it by change on the positive side. And usually I just look at the green ones during the day. And those are the ones that I'm going to be watching. It just makes life very, very easy. We get it updated about 2 times a week. And it's a hot list that basically the Blockchain Education crew are working from. It makes life very easy, and a lot of work gets put into this list, the criteria. If you want to know all the details, just join the group. Certainly it's not free, but if you're a trader and you want to really up your game, come join the team and come in for the big win. So BAND versus BTC, beautiful kind of drop below, but bounce off the 200 moving average here on the 4-hour chart, looking great, doing a retrace. Indicators are beginning to show we'll probably see this guy continue. I'd watch it to see how far this retrace goes. So BAND versus BTC, worth watching. Multi versus BTC, looking good, came down almost at a 200 moving average bounce. It's moving, got a green, the green thing here, the green diamond means that the Madrid ribbons have gone green. All these EMAs here, the green ribbons, you can find that. Just look for Madrid over at BitcoinDailyView.com. It's there. You can find the indicator. It's on TradingView. Squeeze indicator's looking good. Directional nexus is looking good. This guy will, I would, this is a lot of volatility in the market recently. I would really kind of see if we can break above that glass ceiling and keep moving before I got into this. I'd wait for a green squeeze indicator. TWT versus BTC. Oh yeah, I was watching this one last night, and I put this in this triangle, and as you can see, everyone has a little bit of creative license they're going to do with shapes, but I kind of saw this as basically this triangle, and I figured if we broke above, this thing had good indicators, we would probably keep going. And as you can see, it broke right above, and this little green zone here, that's where I had my buy order in. Boom. So as you can see, I bought, and while I was, I think, sleeping, I forget when this happened. This was like last night, I think. This was 5 o'clock in the morning. So bam. Anyway, guys, and now it's retracing. We'll see how far. 8 moving average is right above my buy zone. So right below my buy zone, actually. So we'll see how it goes. But in general, as you can see, trading methodologies certainly do work. I kind of expected this, had my limit order in, bam, bought. Hopefully I don't retrace past it into the red again, but I think we're looking pretty darn good. So I have confidence in a TWIT, that's what I call it, TWT, Trust Wallet, versus Bitcoin's looking very good. GMX, continuation looking good. Actually, GMX is a really nice one. I like the way this chart looks. You can only play it on Binance and Ferna, whatever that is, and yeah, that's it. So GMX, you gotta be a Binancer to play that one. QNT, nah. And you know what? You got ETH versus BTC, looking pretty darn nice. I like this. Ethereum versus BTC. It came down on the 4-hour chart here. The 314 moving average bounce, got back above the 200, looking good. Indicators turning up. Dang, ETH versus BTC. That's pretty nice. I just be careful. I'm gonna give this one a little bit more time, because if we kind of start here, and we go, okay, here's your base, here's your higher low, here's your higher low. Well, this blew it, of course, so let's just see what happens. I like when I play things like this, because I like the idea of an ETH versus BTC trade personally. I think that's kind of, groovy. And we'll finish this up with this basically. I like what I'm seeing. Hard one to play. I kind of like, oh my gosh, there's just so much you could. It's going to look like this. You could kind of go down like that. It broke above. So you've kind of had this, like, I see this as kind of a downtrend like that. But it looks like we've actually broken out of that downwards channel, maybe one of the things I would like to see actually is if we can prove this. Is like, you could almost say, hard to play. This one's hard to play. I think that breakout is enough to probably get back in for most people. This thing is looking good. How do the charts, how do the indicators look on the 4-hour chart? Yeah, squeeze indicators beginning to turn positive. Directional nexus in the green, but just barely. Binary candles looking good. Big burst of volume. I like seeing that. How about a 45-minute chart for ETH versus BTC? ETH versus BTC on the 45 is looking pretty darn hot. I like that. There you go. This is what I like to see. So 45-minute chart, break above the 200 moving average. It's just wicked above the 314, but it might get rejected there. I'm going to see if this guy can actually get around like, 74,600 sats and kind of at least give me some confidence it's going to stay there. These indicators do look good. It may end up doing something like this, kind of go up, clear that 314, go, I am happy, then come back down and bounce. I'm going to watch this one. I'm not quite ready to get in, but I do like the look of it. I'm just not quite feeling it yet. Actually, some people in blockchain education chat were actually talking about it this morning. I can't give you, one of our guys, Wolfie, there was talking about it. I'm not going to give you his secret sauce because he's a pro. I'll keep that, exclusive to the blockchain education crew. I got to keep some of our secrets, but he was looking at that and how to play on it. So definitely, guys, this is a hot one. I'm definitely watching ETH versus BTC. I personally, myself, just as a personal fetish, I like trading ETH versus BTC. It's a great way to make more Bitcoin sats with Ethereum trading against it. And now kind of almost my favorite part. Here's some news, okay? We're going to rock through it quick. Don't want to keep you here all day. Saudi Crown Prince behind deal to swap Griner for Merchant of Death in curiously timed breakthrough. What matters about this, forget all the details. What matters is this, Saudi Crown Prince. It just talks about, this is basically is an example of the changing world from a unipolar to a multipolar world. Saudi, this is not the first deal like this they've brokered since the Ukraine conflict. So, or Ukraine proxy war, however you see it. So it goes to show, Saudi Arabia is now basically, a country brokering prisoner swaps and prisoner swaps and such. So that definitely does show that the BRIC nations and Saudi Arabia is on their way. The paperwork's in the works to becoming part of the BRICS, and so I think they're kind of doing their part. This definitely shows an organized BRIC nation, coordination. And it also shows that, why did this Saudi prince brokered a deal that America's in? I thought we, were the, I thought we ran all things. I guess we don't, So anyway, that's very interesting. It goes to show, that Saudi Arabia is definitely, a power player in the BRIC nations, and they're playing their part, brokering deals. America's at the table. I mean, this is big stuff, Biden. Well, I don't think we need to say Biden. That's not really fair. America is mulling transfer of internationally banned cluster bombs to Ukraine. So cluster bombs are pretty nasty. And the thing about this that gets me is, from what I hear, I'll just say from what I hear, so I'll say allegedly, but what I hear, the Azov dudes have been pretty much bombing. Well, we know that they've been, using munitions and bombing Donbass for quite a while. And from what I've heard, I should have had some articles to pull up, but I didn't want this to take forever. But they've kind of been cluster bombing them anyway, and they've been using cluster bombs like the Azov crew on the Donbass, dropping the ones that do the small, kind of like butterfly mines or little green landmines. So they've been harassing civilian populations with cluster bombs like before any of this conflict started. So I don't quite. I mean, they've already been in theater. I guess they're just trying to officially, send them through NATO cluster bombs. And anyway, they don't. I've been around them, and they don't really. If you don't have air superiority, they don't really matter much. They're not quite the same out of munitions. And cluster bombs are kind of, the world doesn't like them that much. All these blue countries say no. America, of course, says yes to cluster bombs. And what are they? It's one bomb that gets dropped usually from a plane that then opens and has all these little critters that it drops, and they can be of all different kinds. But what I understand, like I say, I'll say allegedly, the Azov dudes have been harassing the Donbass civilians with cluster bombs that drop butterfly landmines, and they've been hurting people with those things for a long time before this ever started. Where did they get those? And I don't quite. It's just very strange. So here's a cluster bomb, in case you've never seen one. I was in the Middle East. I'm a veteran. I've seen these things right about this close before. So they're frigging awesome. I mean, but the problem with cluster bombs and why, there's a little bit of a little bit of hesitancy. For one thing, I don't know how Ukrainian military is going to drop them, because they really aren't that effective unless they're from a plane that I've seen, but I guess maybe there's some missiles that shoot them. But the problem with them is that a lot of them don't go off, and people step on them. And the thing is, the ones that supposedly Azov's been dropping anyway on the Donbass are the ones that are these little flat, little green landmines that are bent to hurt people. So anyway, horrible stuff's already been happening, and I just thought I'd bring the story up because it's messed up. Anyway, guys, I don't have a point with all of this. It's just interesting that, I mean, they've already been in theater. They've already been used on civilians by the Azov dudes. And I guess NATO is having some hesitancy using them in the field or, supplying them. But I don't understand what Ukraine wants with them anyway, because the only ones I've ever seen that really had much of an effect were the ones that came from planes, and Azov doesn't have an air force really. So anyway, guys, this is just weird. I wonder what's going on there. Are we going to see anyway? All conjecture. I don't want to go any further on that. It's just way too much of a. It would just take forever to go into. Just connect the dots if you so desire. Anyway, For every Bitcoin Satoshi you own, Bitcoin truth seekers, a bald eagle actually poops on, I have good authority, this is true, poops on a globalist head. So, let's just keep sending our freaking bald eagle organic drones over the globalists that are meeting, and let's poop on their heads. So really, every Bitcoin Satoshi you own is important. I'm glad you're here, Bitcoin truth seekers. Cluster bombs suck. And I don't get why a country that could not actually implement them is begging NATO for cluster bombs. What are they going to do with them? Or is this basically just like opening a door for an escalation, which would mean NATO planes over Ukraine and, maybe pushing into Russian territory? That would be an extreme escalation, especially with cluster bombs. I didn't want to say that, but there, I said it. Be careful out there. The globalists are really, really freaking crazy these days, and they'll do shit like that. Take care of Bitcoin truth seekers.